and Lisa wasn't his. So the only time it flubbed or stubbed its toe was when Steve wasn't behind it.
I don't see Apple being able to continue at the pace that it's going right now. I mean, I don't expect it to suddenly, fumble and fall, but it's not going to be what it is now.
Now the problem is going to be post Steve. If you bring in some dickhead who thinks that he's mini Steve, and he too is a visionary, and he too understands what people need but cannot express. So this dickhead is going to say, all right, so this is what I've decreed people will want, and I'm the new Steve Jobs. The company will implode.
That depends on whether or not the philosophy employed by Steve in focusing on product and having a passionate view of the product and its relationship to the rest of the operating enterprise. If they get somebody like that in there, then it will continue as an ever-growing, ever-expanding, ever-creative enterprise.
Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. I don't know whether Apple's just going to stagnate.
Well, the story, and I don't know if it's true, but when you went into the HP lobby, there was H's portrait and P's portrait, right? And when Carly came in, she put her portrait, okay? You know what I'm coming to, right? I mean, you hire some dickhead who does that, it's game over, baby. We'll all be listening to Zunes and using Windows machines.
If they get a bottom line man in there, it may succeed, but it will never have the aura and the passion that it has today.
You can trace the greatness of Apple pretty closely back to the greatness of Steve. Some of the flaws of Apple as well.
I can't build a case that it's going to be easy to find another Steve Jobs. It may not be that you want another Steve Jobs, because there can be no other Steve Jobs.
The Macintosh spirit was not something we created with the Macintosh, although we sort of contributed to it, but it was there before the Macintosh because it's really the spirit of the Apple II. And so much of the spirit of the Apple II is the spirit of Steve Wozniak's personality as well as Steve Jobs's.
Yeah, the core of Apple is to change the world, and that has not changed. I don't think it can. I don't think it could change if you tried to change it.
And in a broader sense, though, some of that spirit of the Apple II was the spirit of the personal computer revolution. And really, what that is more than anything else is the celebration of unbounded possibility. The key thing, those first microcomputers, even pre-Apple II, but even the Apple IIs, couldn't really do much. Yet they were incredibly exciting because you knew they were the seed that would change the world.
And if you look at Steve and Woz, what they did is they created Apple I, which was, changed the world. Apple II changed the world. Macintosh changed the world. iPod changed the world. And maybe this phone will change the world. So, that's 5 things. You can't call that luck.
We filled the machine with our love and passion for what we were doing, and it radiates out on the other side of the screen and it affects.